A very warm welcome to the Lagoon Centre in Paisley for today's WBBL Championship action between the Caledonia Gladiators and the Manchester Met Mystics. My name is Stuart Hodge and I'll be guiding you through the action today, and I'm delighted to announce that alongside me is former Scotland international and bona fide patter merchant Rona Lightbody. Rona, how are you feeling ahead of today's game? It's a bit cold in here.
Yeah, no, I definitely think, the weather we've had in Scotland recently set up a bit of an icy atmosphere, but really, it's good that we're in the blue strips. I think it's going to be a really good contest today. Both teams obviously are missing some of their key players, but, I think that's almost evened out on both sides, so it's going to be great to see maybe players who don't get as many minutes on the bench to be able to come onto the floor and show, what they've been working towards, and, they've been putting in that same effort at practice, so it'll be good to see them as well.
Absolutely, so you bring me on to the key news coming into this one for the home side today. 3 key absentees, Tia Adams, Erin Jones and new recruit Patricia Elias are all out with various illnesses and ailments, but the good news is they should all be better in time for Christmas. That is the main thing. But in the midst of that, there is opportunity. An opportunity knocks today for young Sally Campbell, wearing number 6 for the Gladiators today. She's been drafted up into the first team. I'm sure early on in your basketball career, Rona, there were opportunities where you got a chance to step up and prove yourself in a big game. Just how do you think Sally's going to be feeling tonight?
I think, she's going to take this opportunity and she's going to grab it with both hands. I know she's been putting in the work, not only at the National League team of the Gladiators with the senior women and getting exposure there. It's a far more physical game, making that step up from 18s, where she still qualifies for up into seniors, and I think she's been putting in the work at WBL, and Miguel and Donnie are obviously recognising that, because they would not put anyone on their bench they didn't think were ready. This isn't a case of them just bringing in players for the sake of bringing in, they're bringing in players they know that can contribute.
Well, absolutely, and I think that's key to what they're trying to achieve here with the Caledonia Gladiators this season, is provide that pathway, provide that opportunity for young Scottish basketball players to come up and make the most of their careers here in Scotland without having to necessarily go abroad or look elsewhere to do so. It's been a long time out of action, we have to say, for the Gladiators for one reason or another, and so they will be hungry to get back out there, and it'd be good if they could, I'm sure from the home side's perspective, if they could pick up where they left off, because last time out in Nottingham I think it was a 37-point win in the BBL. Against Manchester today, Manchester are 0-7 to start the season. Definitely up against it today. They do have some talented young players in that roster, but I imagine they'll be coming up and just trying to give the best account of themselves. Whereas for the Gladiators, maybe they see this as an opportunity to get back to competitive action. Do you think they're maybe looking at it as a chance to run out some new plays, some new sets, some new rotations?
I think they'll definitely have been able to put lots of stuff in with their 6-week break, but they also, the Gladiators coming off the cup loss against Seven Oaks Suns, so I think that they're going to want to prove some stuff. Chantel, Erin, although she's not playing today, they've been away doing some GB work as well, so I know the girls have been working hard. I think Manchester, they're going to see this as an opportunity. When you come in another team's depleted, even if you guys are yourself, you've got to take that opportunity and try and roll with it and see what you can come away with. Definitely think it's going to be a great game of basketball today, and very much looking forward to it.
Me too. So, just run you through quickly the starting fives. The Gladiators going with Robin Lewis and Zoe Sharp, just 16 years old herself, but she started a few games this season in the backcourt. Erin McGarrigan and Chantel Handy will play the forward spots either side of Abby Wolf. For the Manchester Met Mystics, they have Callie Danielle McMillan, Samantha Keltos starting out. Leah McDermott, the captain for them, in the backcourt. On the wings, Keltos, as I said, Verliotis, Josephine Verliotis, and then Holly Bryan will also be part of their starting 5 today. We're just about ready to get underway here. For those of you who haven't been following things this season, you can get more information about the Gladiators online, of course, but they are a team that has started the season well, full of confidence. Just 2 defeats to their name so far, to Seven Oaks Suns in the WBBL Cup and the Leicester Riders in the league. The arena announcer, he did my bit. I was going to say, Met Mystics ready, Gladiators ready.
Proper Saturday night action, that.
Probably showing her age there a wee bit, Rona.
No, someone told me about it, I saw on YouTube.
So Gladiators win the tip, Abby Wolf doing so. Here she is again, Erin McGarrigan found good space. Well, that was great defence played there by Samantha Keltos from behind.
I think Erin McGarrigan, I've talked about it before, it's something she's so good at. She just holds and holds, and then all of a sudden she's wide open. Didn't go for it that time, but we'll see plenty of that during the game.
It was a nice inbounds pass from Zoe Sharp. Robin Lewis with possession.
Just a little shot clock there. I don't know if it maybe wasn't reset or if it maybe just wasn't started back up quick enough. That's what they've just called there. But there's 9 seconds on it at the moment.
Yep, shot clock.
Chantel, I think she's maybe looking for a reset. I think they're bringing it down to 2 seconds.
Yeah, definitely.
Either that, they're telling each other, peace out, guys. Chill. Just the opening seconds.
A little bit of confusion to start things here.
I have to say, I spoke to referees before the game. They said they were fair game today. They don't mind.
Zoe Sharp has to get the shot up. Another fantastic block from Keltos across, which forces the shot clock violation. And
she's got 1 second left, I think, because by the time the operator was obviously able to react to what had happened, they gave them 1 second left on the shot clock.
Well, this is fun.
So they have a second attempt.
It's almost like an advent calendar. Ticks down. 1 on the clock. Robin Lewis plays it to Chantel Handy, who throws up the air ball.
Or pass, depending on who you speak to.
I reckon with the time left in the clock, she was probably shooting that
100%.
one.
I'd be looking at statisticians going pass. Either way, it'll be a turnover.
So, a couple of great plays from Samantha Keltos defensively.
Great defense.
Chantel Handy returns that in kind. Erin McGarrigan on the turn and makes the bucket. Gladiators on the boards.
So much length between Chantel and Erin McGarrigan there, and that coming in and trapping you on the halfway line. That's not a place you want to be as a player.
McMillan just put a little much on that pass. Zoe Sharp, I can just see from the body language here early on, Rona, seems to be really growing in confidence. Just 16 years old. It'd be very easy to be daunted by playing minutes at this level. But she seems very much at ease, doesn't she? No,
definitely, and I think, you know, she had a season with Pride as well, which has really helped. But playing alongside her, training some practice games, and she doesn't play like she's 16, she plays like she's a player, and that's exactly what you need to do. Age is but a number.
Nice bucket there, combination. Chantel Handy and Abby Wolf. Abby Wolf playing the defence there, and Vanessa Accra dribbles that one out of play.
Robin Lewis, the person whose engine never stops.
Yeah, she's a little buzz bomb on court for the Gladiators. McGarrigan. Lewis tries to get that into Abby Wolf. Has been successful trying to get that ball inside, but on the break, Keltos tosses that one up. And the away team have their first points of the game. Lewis to Handy. McGarrigan.
Nice little spin again.
Couldn't get the bucket to go. Right idea though. McMillan plays it forward. Keltos.
Well held up there.
Yeah, Chantel Handy, formidable figure to run into.
Or even just to know she's coming out to guard, you're like, oh. Good work in there by Abby Wolf. No, she's recognising that mismatch, isn't she? And she is going to exploit that all day long if they give that other opportunity. I think Vanessa knows she's going to have to work to get in front of her, call for that help defence to come across, or it's going to be a long afternoon. Just
don't have the height in there, the Manchester Met Mystics. So Chantel, brilliant passer, finding Abby Wolf time and again. Once more the turnover forced by the Gladiators. Robin Lewis comes the other way. Zoe Sharp unselfishly to Wolf.
Just doesn't get it to drop. That's what you like to see though, you know, not so much the missing at one end, but the fact that she hustled herself back, got back in defence, got the tip out of court.
Absolutely. chance here for Holly Bryant. Keltos tries to feed that in, but once more crowding the area there.
Yeah. As you know, you just feel like they're getting their fingers to everything at the moment. Gladiators are really turning on that pressure defence.
Handy to Wolf. Shot went up, but didn't quite go this time. Nice work on the counter there from McDermott. Captain, one of the key players for this Manchester Met Mystics team.
You wonder how much her experience, you know, having been in and around that London Lions squad last year, how that's, you know, really helped her grow and be a leader this season. You know, she's gone from, you know, some injury problems and things last year and maybe not so many minutes to captain.
Andy! Wow! Show off that length, Chantel.
It's her bread and butter right there.
So Cruty, McNassie indicating a foul on Zoe Sharp. First personal foul against the Gladiators. Nice work to get open from McDermott. Rimmed out though. Robin Lewis coming the other way. Surveys the options. And McGarrigan always on the move, always scoping out space.
Throw one side, the other there from her.
Handy. Shot clock counting down. Had to toss it up. Here's Accra. Tried to bank that one, I think.
They're liking that pull-up jump shot, Manchester, at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite hard for them to manage to get anything inside just because of the sheer
height. Lovely footwork
that the Gladiators have. At both ends, the Gladiators' height with Handy and Wolf in particular is proving fairly pivotal here in the early stages.
Definitely, and they've both got length as well. And that's going to make it difficult for them, and that's maybe why they're opting, you know, they're going for that pull-up jump shot instead of going to the hoop, make more chance of being blocked.
So Abby Wolf at the line. 63% free throw shooter on the season. Confident start to the game from Abby Wolf. McDermott finds Bryant. Nice dribble from Bryant. Managed to escape a crowded area. Keltos. Keltos managing to profits. With the foul, Chantel Handy, the player penalised. Pushing off with the foul, Chantel Handy, the player penalised. Pushing off, says crew chief Nick Nassie.
Just wonder, was that a little bit of tiredness creeping in there? Is it just, you know, everybody's not just quite right in that position, which is then maybe forcing the foul.
So rotational change, Abby Wolf and Zoe Sharp after very good minutes. Both go off. Kerry McGee and Kat Kirsup enter the fray. McMillan, now Accra, trying to carve out space, an opening of some sort here. Shot clock counting down, and Kirsup takes the rebound. Good defensive possession for the hosts. Robin Lewis now trying to initiate some offense at the other end. Tosses up the three. Can't get it to go. Pace of the game increasing here. McDermott tries to dish that to Accra. Now Bryant.
Little in and out there. Nice boards again by Kat.
Impactful start from Kat Kirsup and her minutes on the floor. 2 early rebounds. McGarrigan tries To twist our way through. Kerry McGee turns the ball over. It's
a tight call there by the referee, just with that, you know, there is contact there, but you'd say Chantel was in the position, but I suppose that's the referee's interpretation, and that's why I'm sitting here chatting and not out there with a whistle.
I think that, from what I've heard about your reputation, Rona, that's you're being quite light in your comments there, because I've heard that you quite like to give it a wee bit tight to the officials sometimes. Were you like that as a player?
Absolutely not. Anything you've heard has been absolute lies. I'm always really encouraging, supportive, and I like to say well done, that was excellent.
Coach Miguel, talking about exacting high standards, the team have come out and have started with confidence here, but Coach Miguel Angel Ortega Marco, he seems to always be wanting to educate, to use every situation to teach the team something and help develop the players. How did you find working with him in your short spell here at the start of the season?
Intense is probably how I'd sum it up. Interestingly, I talked about it with a few of the girls, and one of the words we sort of came away with is he's demanding. But that's a positive thing, you know. He, even at my tender years, at the end of my playing career, you know, the amount I still learned off him in that sort of 2 or 3 months I was around the programme was massive. And you know, he pulls out the best things, and he really makes you think about things. Like training was mentally and physically exhausting, because you would consistently be having to think about, no, why am I here? Why am I moving there? It's not just like, here's a play, run the play. It was, why are you then cut into that position? If you're in that position, why would this player then come there? So, you know, he really makes you think, and he makes you a much better all-round player. And he genuinely cares. You know, you can have, I would say he pushes you hard, he is intense, he is demanding, but he's doing it for the best of you. And it's not for him selfishly, it's because he wants the best for you as a player. And I think you can see that from the girls he's got on the floor and where this team are going.
Absolutely. Definitely seems...
And he now owes me £10.
Akra tries to burrow away in. Cursup once again strong with the defensive rebounds. Robin Lewis calling the play. And it goes to Cursup, trying to occupy that same spot that Abby Wolf did. And it's been similarly effectual.
Yep, and that's something, you know, if Manchester don't come up with solutions to that, it's something that I'm sure Gladiators will look to keep going to. Interesting, you know, Coach Miguel leaving, I was about to say, leaving Chantel on the floor as she leaves the floor. But, you know, with her picking up 2 fouls, first quarter, she's definitely a key player, a key piece in that team that you've got to be able to keep in your rotation.
Yep, the coach just talking to Donnie McDonald, his assistant. McGarrigan. Captain chases the rebounds after the miss, can't quite get it. And then on the break come the Mystics.
Cat is just always in the right place for that rebound at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, Isabel Robinson couldn't get the bucket to go, but McGarrigan does at the other end. And the Gladiators up to a dozen now. 4 of those for the skipper.
Manchester's playing really close to that sideline there.
Keltos, one of just 2 players averaging double figures points-wise for the Manchester Mystics this season, which I think goes to show the struggles that they've been facing. She is top scoring for them, just over 14 points a game. Mia McDermott just over a dozen. Trying to find answers to their offensive problems.
It's just not dropping for Manchester at the moment. They are getting good looks though, so you know that is going to happen as the game progresses. And that's maybe somewhere Gladiators may be looking to tighten that up, but doing a good job with it right now.
At this stage, they're probably looking at this as somewhat of a development season, Manchester, and I think there's a lot of encouragement they can take from how they've performed in the early stages here, because they are doing the best they can despite the mismatches defensively, and offensively, as you say, there's been a couple of shots they've maybe tossed up where they could have forced a better opening, but for the most part, seem to be playing with a degree of assurance. So
definitely, and they've had some really good defensive ends against the Gladiators as well. You know, we've seen Gladiators have to put up a few shots and force a shot clock violation as well, so plenty to be going. It's going well. Ball
moving quickly. Up it goes, and in it goes. from Samantha Keltos. She's the one that does have an answer when they need a bucket offensively. Robin Lewis goes round the screen, and again. Zoe Sharp. It's good work there as Lewis hits the deck. She's up quickly. I was talking before the game about what it's been like so long without having a game to play, and you really sense the hunger from Robin Lewis.
Yeah, I caught some video of her on Instagram during the week, and she said excited one more time. I think, and I spoke to her before the game, she said, yeah, just buzzing to get back, because you know what it's like, it's almost been like a double pre-season for them with another 6 weeks, and it is hard to play and keep the intensity up when, you know, you're not getting the court time to go and run it against someone else.
Up it goes this time from McDermott. McGarrigan switches it to Zoe Sharp. Good patience from the youngster there. Robin Lewis, now Kerry McGee. And Cursop tosses it up and puts it in. Kat Cursop has been sensational since coming off the bench.
You know, Kerry and Kat played together last season, National League, at the Gladiators, when it was Lady Rocks, and maybe that's a little bit of link-up play.
Always helps when you know each other's games. Kirsty Russell with the long bomb. Russell averaging just 2 points a game this season. She's got 3 in the one go there to get her started today. Erin McGarrigan trying to find something at the end of that. Visitors giving a very good account of themselves in the early stages here. And in it goes again as the lead is cut to just 3 points now.
Love the little bank shot there from Mia.
Andy. McGarrigan rather. I was trying to look for the shot clock there and took my eye off the action on court. But early on here, not that I think the Gladiators would be expecting to come in today and just roll over Manchester, but do you think they might be a bit disappointed just with how things have veered askew between the first time out and this one?
I would say so. I think, you know, how they started the game is how they're going to want to impress themselves upon the game, and, you know, is it a rotational thing with who they've brought on, but you wouldn't say any one player's come on and made any mistakes. It's just Manchester have maybe decided then to lift their game a little, and that is then what's got them back into this. I think Gladiators are going to have to raise it again because Manchester are coming at them. So yeah, I think the second quarter is going to be interesting. It'll be good to see who comes out starting stronger.
Absolutely. Just panning across the crowd there. Any particular Christmas panel jump out at you from?
I feel like I'm seeing somebody that's got on a really impressive hat, and maybe, I don't want to know if it's a green tie or if it's a green Christmas tree on, so I'm like double Christmas. That's always impressive as well. You know, they've taken the brief and they've extended the brief. That's what I like as a teacher.
Well, I should say Rona's beside me in a cracking Christmas jumper. My favourite colour, purple, actually.
Yeah, well, there we go. Strictly Come Dancing themes, favourite programme?
Is it?
Yep.
Who do you think's the best dancer in the Gladiators?
Apart from myself.
Current team?
Oh, well, I haven't seen several dancing people. I think Donnie McDonald, he does a really mean twerk.
I don't believe that for a second. I bet he's
got
a wee move in him.
He's going to absolutely beat me up for that comment. No, but every single player in the team, yeah, they've all got the moves on them, but you see the footwork in the post, and that's where it comes from, right? A bit of Bailey Elliott there, coordination. We were doing some social dancing skill, and that's what I was telling, especially the boys and maybe those lesser wanting to take part participants, that your best athletes is rhythm, coordination, timing, right? And that's what dance is. Granted,
what I will say is, as a veteran of social dancing myself, I've never felt more anti-social in my life than when asked to do the Gay Gordons.
And our Arcadian Strip the Willow always gets them on side. And for those in England listening and don't know what an Arcadian Strip the Willow is, I highly recommend, look up on YouTube, get yourself logged to Kaylee, and you will highly enjoy it.
Talking of viral online content, There was a lovely piece of content with Tia Adams and Coach Miguel trying some Scottish foods.
Oh, there was.
That's one that I would advise everyone to check out.
Miguel doesn't like anything sweet, does he? I very quickly got that impression.
Yeah, he's into the savoury stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Tia was abhorred by even the mere concept of trying haggis. Up it goes, and in it goes from Keltos to tie the score.
Just feel like the defence could have been a little bit tighter on her there. Both lineups though really young at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Sally Campbell wearing number 6 on court for the Gladiators.
And that's kind of what we were talking about before we came on. You know, Miguel's not going to put people on his bench that he's not going to play, and there we go, Sally Campbell getting her first minutes. Kerry McGee, I think she's still scoreless in WBL, but she's at the line. Putting herself on that score sheet for the first time.
Very nice to see. Excellent stuff. She does have a positive net rating on court, so that counts for something.
100%. It's not all about scoring, you know, it's about how you contribute to the team.
McDermott trying to cultivate some space. Keltos feeds that inside.
That's the other thing about Coach Miguel. He'll always let you know if you maybe haven't done what is expected of you.
Yeah, he's off shot at the moment, but the expression on his face tells its own story. McDermott feeds that out. Keltos up. Full of confidence, Samantha Keltos. Good rebound there. Yeah. Manchester make mistakes with second chance here. And a third. And that's not good enough on the glass.
No, that's something they were doing really well, the Gladiators, on the defensive end, you know, clearing up the boards, and at the moment they're just not, and they're causing fouls, they're giving second and third attempts. And at any level in any team, that's never good enough.
McMillan tosses that up, and it yields a foul. Robin Lewis just pulling over her teammates for a few words there. And Gladiators, who have played to a very, very high standard pretty much every home game so far. After a decent spurt to start the opening quarter, just seem to have lost their way a wee bit.
Yeah, we've currently got 3 players on the floor who are under 18, and you know, maybe that's a little bit telling within the gameplay at the moment. But also, Sally, nice drive there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Sally Campbell did the first bit right, but just turned the ball over as she got into prime position to score. I think Zoe Sharp's going to be called once again for the personal foul.
The referees are calling it tight on that sort of play, you know, that sort of slight bounce, bit of contact, so the girls are just going to have to adjust to that on both sides. That's the thing with referees, you've just got to learn how the game's going, and then you've got to adapt and play to that, and that's, you know, that's what's going to make you a better player.
We did ask if the Gladiators were going to do something different today, and there does seem to be an emphasis on having more than one young body on the floor at a time. Normally it is just the one. Keltos once again scoring.
Yeah, she's going to be a problem for them, and if they let her get hot, they're going to have to find a way to stop that.
Up to 9 points now. On the away side in the lead for the first time. Cursa feeds
Nice
Wolf.
find in. Really nice interplay there between the 2 posts.
That does seem to be one of the most profitable routes scoring-wise for the Gladiators today. Feed the Wolf, and she is hungry. I can see you almost. Just the look came across your face there that I've not seen so far. Cringing a wee bit for me. Stuart Allen Partridge Hodge here. Nice ball movement. trying to create space. Abby Wolf manages to find it, does get the shot up, but it doesn't go down. McMillan moving at a vast pace. Russell.
Again, just that sort of loose ball there, that's the sort of stuff in that first sort of opening 5 minutes. Gladiators were first everything, and now, you know, they're second to it. It's allowed for a score there.
Yeah, swish from Caledonia McMillan.
You just feel like Manchester come out a bit livelier. You know, they've come out, tails are up. Gladiators, you know, they're going back to what's working. They're getting the ball inside, but maybe just a bit more hesitant in their play.
Abby Wolf, great spin, and then manages to succeed in getting herself to the line. Timeout is called. And the Manchester Mystics have a 3-point lead as we stand just over 3 minutes into the second quarter. 0-7 so far this season. But they've certainly come out today looking like a team with plenty of will to win.
Definitely, and they'll be hungry to win. You know, when you're 0-7, you want to show it. You know, they'll know they've got the players, they've got the ability to win. The scores maybe just haven't gone their way because they've been in some tight games. You know, they're going to want to go out. Every team wants to finish before the festive break, don't they, on a win, and it's up for grabs.
The music says it all, Rona. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
What is your favourite Christmas film?
Christmas film?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, you can't go wrong with a bit of Home Alone.
Home Alone.
But I think personally, just because I love them, it's Elf.
Yeah, yeah. I can see the similarities.
What, with me?
Yeah.
Well, I did see Santa and get very excited.
Wow, yeah. I watched the film yesterday called I Believe in Santa. I kind of felt like I did by the end. Sorry, reinforced my belief.
Yeah. Of course Santa's real.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely no
When
doubt.
he doesn't bring my G-Wagon, I'll be really upset. Hint, hint.
For anyone listening out there. So Abby Wolf steps to the line.
I almost feel she's just quite fast on that first free throw.
Yeah. I think that's one of the aspects for any player is as your career develops. I think it's those small things like just take your time in the first free throw. Don't rush it. Manage to get yourself into your rhythm. Don't be rushed by the fact that there's been a timeout and you just want to get it up there.
No, definitely. Sometimes people don't like it because you feel like everyone's watching you. You know, sometimes some stadiums they go silent when it's free throws. Other stadiums it's really noisy. Personally, I prefer a noisy stadium. I'd rather someone was telling me how much they hate me than it's deathly silent. Lovely spin and turn.
Yeah, that was a great bucket. Zoe Sharp with a lovely pass into Abby Wolf. And she has been feasting inside.
Yeah, she's known her job today and she's coming out to do her job, which is great to see. She's grown in confidence since she's come into the squad. She's a little bit of a late joining, but it seems to be really starting to settle in. McMillan had been wide open there. You saw her calling for the ball, just unfortunately her teammates couldn't have seen her.
Enough bodies crowding in the way to create a bit of trouble. Margaret Jones, the Mystics coach, a wee bit frustrated by that one. That ball, I think the officials are just having a think before awarding it to Manchester. So all tied up at 21 points apiece. McMillan swings that all the way across to Russell. Now dropped off to Keltos in space. She doesn't punish the Gladiators this time.
No, she has been excellent so far. And when I saw her going off that, I was like, oh, that's money.
The offense moving really well for the team bottom of the standings in the early stages here. McGarrahan Zoe Sharp has it now.
5 on the shot clock. They're going to look to try and get something off.
Kirsup makes it rain from deep. Kat Kirsup having a fantastic game so far.
They love that spot at the top of the 3-point line. That's definitely their favourites.
Is that just by the fact that the players like that particular spot, or do they deliberately run plays to exploit that?
I think it'd be hard to say, but yeah, I think you're always going to put your players in their best possible positions at all times. In an ideal world. You know, that's not necessarily how it always works out, but you know, that's what you're going to do.
Holly Bryan about to inbound. Erin McGarrigan thought she'd got the steal, just steps out of bounds.
I have to say, these young Manchester Met players, they're also impressing me, you know, coming on, doing their job, doing a shift. Don't look out of place at all.
Keltos. Poor pass that time. From Samantha Keltos. Kenny McGee gives it to Zoe Sharp. Youthful looking Gladiators. Looking to try and impress themselves on their opponents. McGarrigan did have space for the 3.
3 seconds on the shot clock.
Zoe Sharp tosses it up.
Same team.
And then Abby Wolf and Erin McGarrigan just got in each other's way trying to bring that rebound down. Instead, Manchester coming the other way. McMillan couldn't get it to go, but Keltos does. And she's up to 11 points now to lead all scorers.
Yeah, that all stemmed just from a bit of miscommunication at the Gladiators' end. Manchester fully exploited it.
Wolf. Didn't see someone coming in for the pocket steal. McMillan in space. She's shooting with a green light right now. Zoe Sharp coming the other way. Almost got that to go. Nice move there from Zoe Sharp. And she will go to the line, I think. But timeout is called.
She'd picked the ball up, so you'd assume she'd be going to the line.
How important, you see Tia Adams there in her jacket, Erin Jones as well. I think that's the benefit of not playing tonight, is you get to keep a jacket on in here. It's a bit chilly, but how important is it when players are out that they still come along and feel part of that overall
100%. I think
spirit?
If you weren't here, I'd be like, why are you part of the team? I mean, that might sound a bit savage, but whether you're injured, whether you're playing, whether you're not playing, you know, some of these girls who've turned up week in, week out, you've maybe not hit the floor or been stripped up, but they've still been here, sometimes even in the crowd, and then, you know, that then benefits when you do get the call up. And I think that even having the experience of AJ and Tia on the bench, you know, they're going to act as like assistant coaches there, aren't they, right? And they can maybe sometimes put things across the players in a slightly different way, or they'll have a slightly different take on things, especially because you've got EJ who plays that 3-4 spot, you've got Tia who's out of that sort of 1-2. You know, they kind of got most aspects of the floor covered. They can help maybe little tweaks on the plays or little bits they would maybe do slightly differently.
Absolutely. So far, the Caledonia Gladiators have started out with decent momentum, then it's waned a little bit, and they just seem to be getting back into the rhythm a wee bit there before that stoppage.
No, I would say so. Did you do feel like it's been 7-6-5 on the shot clock for Gladiators recently? And they're maybe just not getting something off, but at the same time also you look at Chantel Handy, she's been sitting on the bench for quite some time and she's a massive catalyst in that team. So, you know, the fact they're still at 1 and she's been able to sit and rest, hold on to those fouls, you know, that's quite critical in itself as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Fewer than 7 minutes on courts so far for Chantel Handy. So that is, as you see, some good minutes to have in the bag. Zoe Sharp, 1 out of 2.
Just keep splitting those free throws, don't they?
Shot goes up from Holly Bryan. It's well rebounded.
Yeah, I think it just came off, because of where it came off the basket, it came off far faster than any players expected. It's one of those ones that hits you in the face and you're like, what just happened there? Or maybe that's just me because I can't catch a ball sometimes.
That is one of the reasons that I don't play basketball, though. Fear of getting struck in the head.
I tell you, playing women's sports, sometimes the worst thing is ponytails. Some people have really vicious ponytails, especially if they're in a pleat when they get sweaty. Erin McGarrigan's one got cut into my armpit once, so I yanked her head backwards. And I was like, you put your hair there, not me.
You're putting me off the idea. I've grown my hair a wee bit this winter, and you're putting me off the idea. I've been getting slagged off a few mates for a top knot. I don't.
Be thankful you've got it.
Okay.
Christmas cheer.
Indeed. Cursup into McGarrigan.
Yeah, takes it to them. Captain leadership stuff right there. She's like,
I think the spirit of Erin McGarrigan and the type of character she is was summed up a few games back when there was a spillage and maybe something on the court, and she was that annoyed at how long it was taking. She went over and took it and started scrubbing it herself.
If you want a job doing right, do it yourself.
That's what you want from a skipper, from a leader.
Splitting again.
Gladiators back to a 3-point lead. Just under 3 minutes left in the first half of basketball here. Low scoring afternoon at the Lagoon Centre in Paisley.
Yeah, you just feel this zone that the Gladiators have put on is maybe causing some problems, so we found a nice gap there.
Shot launched up by Bryant. Couldn't find anything rim-wise. Cursup.
Take it to
Great move. Unlucky not to get the finish to go along with it. And it leaves a gap on the fast break, which is gladly exploited by Isabel Robinson for Manchester. Abby Wolf, now Robin Lewis. Then McGarrigan. McGee.
9 on the shot clock.
Swung into space, Abby Wolf. Cursup, Robin Lewis. Shoots it up. Clanks off the rim. Abby Wolf tries to pull it down. But in the end, it's Leah McDermott who comes away with the ball. Zips the pass forward. McMillan. Now Brian in space. Lovely offense from Manchester to put them back in front.
Yeah, they're just moving the ball really nice on that fast break transition. Found the open player. Easy too.
Cursup gets that into McGarrigan. Kenny McGee, I think, pondered the shot. Abby Wolf finds her spot, and that's a lovely touch.
Good job there of not giving up on that play either. You know, she's maybe going, oh, it was a bit of contact there. Referee called it all ball. Recovered it, got the two. You almost wonder if Kenny McGee in that bottom corner, though, should she have gone for the shot? Wide open, and if you want to stretch the team's defence, you know, she's going to have to be willing to start to shoot them, and I know she can shoot them, she can knock them down. She's a great 3-point shooter. So
in terms of the youngsters that we've seen on the court today for the Caledonia Gladiators, anyone in particular stuck out as impressing you with how they've performed so far?
I think Abby Wolf, you know, I think she's really grown into her game here, and you know, she's been a bit quiet the first few games, but her footwork today and the positioning's been great. I mean, you could say, you know, the Manchester Mystics lineup maybe lends itself to her gameplay today. You know, they're a little bit smaller, a little bit undersized compared to some other teams, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a good game. You still need to go out and play a good game. Doesn't matter what the other team are doing, you've got to do you. So no, I think she's having an awesome game so far, and I'd like to see her keep that up. She really seems to be stepping up and shouldering some of that responsibility, missing some other key players, and it's good to see.
A few nice Santa hats in the crowd there, particularly like the glittery one.
Well, that's not actually Santa.
That's not true Santa. Maybe one of the elves.
Yeah.
Do you have an elf in your house?
No, I do not. I just have a mad dog who manages to take the decorations off the tree, and he actually ate his own decorations, so now he only has one paw.
Oh.
So it's a little wooden decoration with his name, and he has, yes, we buy the dog decorations.
That's cute.
Yeah,
like
but
it.
now only has one paw because he ate the other three. No shame.
Back underway here at the Lagoon. Gladiators have their noses in front.
Really nice fake and wee up and under there.
McGarrigan and Cursup work well together. to recover the ball for the Gladiators in the defensive glass. Now Robin Lewis has it. Robin Lewis always so vocal on the court. One thing the Gladiators don't want for is leadership.
Yeah, and she's a very smart player as well. Like, if, you know, the odd time I maybe wasn't sure where I should be, she would 100% be able to tell me. She knows 1 through 5.
It's always good when you get players out there that have that cerebral quality to help their teammates and to also provide a kind of in-game scouting report on opponents as they notice things and fluctuations and trends.
Definitely, and you know, she's a veteran of this WBBL, so she's able to bring that experience with her.
Abby Wolf fights for the rebound and then gets the juice as well.
Great hustle there, that's what I love to see. An awesome offensive board getting the score.
Down to 25 seconds left in this opening half of basketball. It's kind of odd, Rona. I feel like the best play today has been on offense.
No, I would agree.
It's quite low scoring.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny, isn't it, when the score doesn't, you don't feel like the score reflects how the game's gone. But both teams' defence has also been very good as well.
Couldn't get that one to go, McDermott. Not long left for the Gladiators. Robin Lewis perhaps a bit frustrated to hear the whistle there.
They're definitely throwing everything at it, both teams at the moment in the defence, and that's the sort of defence I like to see.
And McGarrihan gets one to go. And as you say, a lot of trips to the line. I've seen just one of 2 made. Would be an important time to make sure she does execute. And she does so. The captain. 6 seconds for Manchester to cut into the deficit. McMillan moves quickly, goes herself. It's off the board, but it doesn't drop. And it's a defensive stop for the Caledonia Gladiators at the end of a half where they were very, very stout defensively. And the offense just seemed to be unlocked towards the end there. Half-time score 33-27. Key takeaways from you, Rona, just before we wrap up.
I think that inside game from the Gladiators is going to be key to them, but I also think on the opposite end they need to stop Sam Keltos. She's been great for them. I know Leah's been controlling the ball for them well from the Manchester end, so you know, if they can try and quieten down these 2 players, that will be to their huge advantage. I think Gladiators, if they get Chantel back on, start the third, maybe look to stretch and extend that lead. Nobody's sitting in horrific foul trouble at the moment for either team, so that'll be something that they'll be looking to use to their advantage as the game goes on.
Absolutely. Just going through some stats from that opening half there. I can see the Caledonia Gladiators actually shooting 45% from the floor, but just 64% from the line. Manchester, on the other hand, shooting 32 from the floor. Points in the paint, Gladiators have a lead 14-8. And overall, this surprises me because I think the Gladiators seem to, in terms of my eye test, have rebounded quite well. But the Met Mystics have a 2-point lead in that regard. Interesting. 11 assists as well for the Gladiators in that opening half, but both teams fairly heavy in the turnovers, 8 and 9 respectively. Anything you can extrapolate from that list? I'm pulling out my dictionary thesaurus there.
No, I think it's been a good game. I think it's kind of how I expected the game to go at the moment. I think third quarters are always quite pivotal. I don't think either team maybe looks overly tired at the moment. It doesn't look like that's going to be an issue so much, but you never know. Switching ends, switching hoops, sometimes it can throw people off. But no, I think we're in for a good second half of basketball.
Excellent, and as ever, plenty to occupy the fans at half-time here. I believe you've the blast of news for what's going on at half-time.
Yep,
right?
So they are going to be handing out the Jim Lay Awards, so that's a presentation. So Jim Lay, for those who aren't aware, was the sort of founding member along with Lisa Colombo for what was back then the St Maurice's Gladiators, hence the Gladiators and the Caledonia Gladiators name. So after, unfortunately, his death, they brought in an award in memoriam of Jim, so that was sort of someone who's had an outstanding contribution to the club and who's gone above and beyond. Now, this was awarded at our awards evening back in August, but unfortunately the recipient couldn't be there, so he is going to be presented out of that today. And the person who will be receiving it today is Colin Halding, who was actually my coach last year. Awesome guy, 10 years coaching at the club, putting up with the senior women. I don't know how he's done it, because that's a lot of hormones and a lot of girls to be dealing with. So he's going to be getting that award, which is what people at home will be able to see at the moment.
Well, right on cue. Fantastic.
It's like we knew it was happening.
It's almost like we did. I think we timed that quite well.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Ollie and Phil have nothing on us, and he's wearing an excellent Christmas jumper today.
I think he's got you beat, Rona.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, Rudolph on full display, along with the accolades that Colin is getting in Jim's memory. And I think that's an important part of what the Caledonia Gladiators are trying to do this season. They're trying to tie together that wonderful fabric and history and story that you have, both on the men's side and the women's side. Tie that together as this club looks to move into a fruitful and ambitious new era.
Most definitely, I think you summed it up perfectly there, Stuart.
Excellent. We're going to take a short break here from the action. We will be back with you for the second half of basketball shortly. And as you see on your screens there at the halfway stage, the Caledonia Gladiators leading the Manchester Mystics by 6 points. We'll be back with you very soon. A Winemaker cup of tea. Very warm welcome back here to the Lagoon Centre in Paisley, where coach Miguel Angel Ortega Marco is just dishing out some final instructions to the Caledonia Gladiators ahead of the second half against the Manchester Met Mystics here today. It was a first half that I think started well and finished well for the hosts, but Manchester, who come here with a very much a losing record, have really shown that they're maybe a bit better than that record suggests. Rona, I would say in that first half.
No, I totally agree. And, you know, they are here to compete, and they have been an awesome team over the years, Manchester, but obviously big losses, Dominic Allen, Georgia Jones, Ryan Bailey not playing this year, so, you know, they're finding a new identity in themselves as well, and they'll be learning to adjust to that. You know, they're now 7-8 games into the season, so they'll be finding their identity as a team, finding what works for them, and also just getting used to playing with each other. You know, in the WBL, you get a lot of continuity with maybe the home-based players, but not so much maybe with your imports. So, you know, it can sometimes take a while to bleed them in, just depending on your luck and how they settle in with their teams and their new surroundings. So I think we're in for a good second half of basketball.
Yeah, Kerry McGee inbound. She's on the floor with Robin Lewis, Abby Wolf, Chantel Handy, who sat for much of that first half, and then McGarrigan for the Gladiators. Handy tosses one up.
Handy says, you can sit me for a quarter and it ain't gonna matter.
Yep, the Manchester Met Mystics coming the other way. Leah McDermott in possession now. Holly Bryan, Callie Danielle McMillan, Samantha Keltos and Isabel Robinson on the floor for the visitors.
That little pull-up jumper there just doesn't go that time, but we saw how effective it was in the first quarter.
All of a sudden, though, 1 3-pointer goes in, and it's almost a double-digit lead for the Gladiators. Came off the foot of Holly Bryan there.
You also just, when those two players going at each other there, but you know, you sometimes wonder in games like this where you've got quite a few academy players from both sides, if that'll help grow their confidence as well, you know, because it's a big difference going up against someone, you know, it's roughly within your same age and same sort of experience on the court. So, you know, that allows both sides to really bleed those players in and give them that exposure.
Definitely. Handy. Kerry McGee into Abby Wolf. Pick of the performers in the first half. Abby Wolf. Robin Lewis with a smile on her face.
She even smiles when she misses. Such a happy, but I need some of that Robin Lewis happiness in my life.
That's the time for Christmas cheer, isn't it? Robin, cheery the whole year round?
Yeah. Even on a 97-hour bus journey to Essex. Maybe not 97 hours, it just felt like that.
That's the kind of person you need on a long journey, to be fair.
She was beside me, which is probably the opposite of what you need.
And what you also need is to make as many shots at the line as you possibly can. And Robin Lewis comes up trumps in that regard there. Up it goes from Accra, who started the game and is very quickly introduced in the third quarter for Manchester. Handy. Slices up what's in front of her. Abby Wolf setting the screen. Now Robin Lewis trying to dump that down inside to Abby Wolf, who, as I say, was excellent in the first half. 14 points, 5 rebounds.
5 left in the shot clock, so we'll be looking to get a quick score off this.
Inbounded by Handy. Robin Lewis steps out to the 3-point line. And it hits the rim this time. Now coming the other way is McDermott. Twisting, turning, surrounded by Gladiators' bodies, but McMillan comes round the sides. And that's a lovely finish from her.
She made that look easy there. You know, she just found a pathway all the way through, and it was like part of the Red Sea from Gladiators.
Handy, now McGee. Young Kerry McGee. Chantel Handy once again.
Chantel very handy. It's the best I've got.
Beat me to it.
Extremely handy. It's not as patchy though, is it?
Maybe. We should start setting up forfeits for when one of us says something that's a wee bit naff.
That's not naff. That was excellent.
Ah, that was excellent. Both allowed partridge moments, mate. That's happy days. I'm looking forward to doing more of these with you, Rona. Excellent stuff.
Probably won't be invited back.
Maybe me. Caledonia Gladiators more active defensively in this second half so far for me.
Definitely. I mean, Manchester doing well there to draw the foul down in the post, just having Erin come over and overplay. There's 3 referees on the floor. You really don't get away with much these days.
It's going to be inbounded by Samantha Keltos.
14 on the shot clock, so you know, plenty of time.
Doesn't count for much if you turn it over straight away from the inbounds. McGarrigan.
Accra doing really nice defence there on Abby. You know, she's learned from the first half and really got in front of her, got in her pants, as you'd say, and stopped that ball getting put inside.
I think that's maybe why Margaret Jones, the Manchester coach, made the quick sub at the start of this third quarter, recognised that they could not leave that mismatch in there. McMillan finds McDermott from range. Rebounded by Handy. Now Robin Lewis off to the races. McGee inside to Wolf. Just telegraphed the pass a little and Keltos got in the lane.
Doing well to tie it up there though.
Good recovery from young McGee.
Yeah, Sam Keltos has been getting it done, you know, both ends of the floor, but you know, I think it's a stretch to then be looking forward to bring the ball up the floor as well. I think it was just a bit of pressure defence there from the Gladiators.
Accra. I think she thought about the long range 3 there.
She definitely did. You could see that thought process, couldn't you?
Daly too long, and Erin McGarrigan punishes the mental ambiguity that was going on in the heads. Keltos now dumps it off to McMillan. Tossed up well, Abby Wolf with another rebound. She's in the hunt for a double-double. Robin Lewis signals with her hands what she wants from her teammates. She gets it from Abby Wolf, and McGee now with the chance.
What did I say? She can shoot that shot.
Excellent 3 from Kerry McGee.
No, I don't think that'll work. I need to not think out loud sometimes.
First 3-pointer of the season for her. Robin Lewis. Trying to get that to Erin McGarrigan.
Yeah. Those passes, when they come off, you know that's a highlight tape, and when it doesn't come off, you know, run away from the coach and don't make eye contact as fast as possible.
A really, really good stint from the Caledonia Gladiators there, and they have managed to make the lead balloon cut. Merge 2 words into one there. Let's try that again. The Caledonia Gladiators with a very, very good opening to the third quarter, and their lead has ballooned up to 17 points, which, considering how close run the first half of basketball was, would be exactly what they were intending coming into this second half.
They do, and you know, I do think, you know, having Chantel back on the floor with Chantel, Erin and Abby, the length and the options that gives you, because, you know, yes, they're looking to get inside to Abby, but then you also know that Erin is going to sneak up from you somewhere, and then Chantel, you know, when she gets the ball on the 3-point line, you can just see she's excited, and you just don't know quite what she's going to do. She's got all that 3x3 experience, you know, getting that Commonwealth medal over in the summer, so you know she can play that one-on-one as well. So, you know, I think that's just really going to stretch the defence now. You've got Kerry McGee out scoring 3s as well, so she's an offensive threat. And all these sort of things, all these like little small percentages is just what's going to have to make Manchester tie up. I don't think they're down and out by far. You know, they've got plenty within their arsenal as well. It's just been a bit unfortunate that some of their shots haven't been dropping. at the start of this second, but you know, kind of same at the start of the first for them, then they fought their way back into it. So yeah, I think plenty of games still to be played.
Still just 17 years old, Kerry McGee, you mentioned her there. She's got 5 points and 3 assists so far today. So in terms of the box score, profitable game for the youngster.
Yeah, and that just testament to the development of her as well at the moment. You know, started the season coming off the bench, 0 points, minimal court time, and has now taken herself onto plenty of stat lines.
Another turnover force, great steal by McGarrigan. And Handy with the shot attempt in the end for the Gladiators. Now McDermott coming the other way for the visitors. They're just trying to get a foothold in this game once again. It's all gone a bit awry for them at the start of the third, and that shot just tossed up, hopefully there. Rims out. And Abby Wolf comes down with the rebound. Now Robin Lewis trying to create for the Gladiators. Wolf senses the mismatch, gets it to Kerry McGee.
Really nice decision there by her. You know, she wasn't quite in the right position to knock down the shot, even though it's the same spot as before. Tacks it, draws the foul.
Kirsty Russell, the player penalised there. And it would be massive for Kerry if she could tick up towards double figures points-wise. It would be a milestone. Gets the first one to go at the line. Chantel Handy straight over to congratulate her. Such a vital role Chantel Handy plays as well, Rona.
She does.
So much talent, so much experience in here in that hybrid player, assistant coach role. Turned over again by Manchester, Erin McGarrigan. Oh, she's a tenacious pest, McGarrigan. Now Kerry McGee from 3. And this is sensational Gladiators basketball.
Things you love to see.
I'm happy. I got my whole Christmas Advent calendar opened in that sequence there.
Manchester, you know, just looking for a quick answer there, you know, settle themselves after that.
Didn't come from Leah McDermott. Now Handy, ambitious pass towards McGarrigan, who's very much feeling it right now. Now Robin Lewis, and we've seen this in the Lagoon Centre at various stages this season when the Gladiators are just feeling it out there.
Yeah, when it comes together for them. And I think what's pleasing to see for them, which the coaches will be pleased to see, is, you know, this is a very different rotation, this is a very different team to what they usually have on the floor. So to see that same cohesiveness and to see things working, you know, shows that what's going on in the training ground is really working for them. It's like they've had 6 weeks to practice before the game.
Yeah, they are fresh enough,
yeah.
That's for sure.
But again, sometimes I think that can play against you, especially, you know, if Manchester have had a game more recently, as opposed to Gladiators, but you can only do what you can do.
Absolutely. In goes Accra, but she's penalised, so it won't count. Kerry McGee and Zoe Sharp on the floor for the Gladiators. Chantel Handy and Kat Kirsup on either side of Abby Wolf. So the two young guards getting a chance to run things in the backcourt for the Gladiators.
Which in itself is exciting for Scottish basketball, you know, to have two such young players controlling it for them.
Zoe Sharp. Lassie from the Highlands tossing one up, couldn't get it to go. And that takes a nice kiss for Vanessa Accra there. And here's Zoe Sharp. As you say, Rona, seeing the future of Scottish basketball right before our eyes.
And it looks good.
Chantel Handy up. Couldn't get that one to go. Here's McDermott. Russell.
Actually just demanding it in there.
Good defense around her. Goes up from McDermott. Cursett with another rebound. Zoe Sharp calling the shots. Vocal from the 16-year-old. Calling for exactly what she wants.
And that in itself, you know, at that age, to be able to tell your older, more experienced teammates, you know, exactly what you want. But, you know, that shows the respect throughout the team of each other.
Couple of changes for Manchester as Wolf picks it up.
It's a lovely find inside there.
Abby Wolf is so good at finding those positions under the rim. Maybe just at times, if we were being hypercritical, could say she could clean up the finishing just a wee bit.
Definitely. I think the progress from this game, even from the Sevenoaks game when I last saw her, she's getting into the right positions now, and she's, you know, getting a hold of the ball and going up strong. So yeah, I guess the next phase of that then would be converting more of them.
Ball wasn't inbounded quick enough by the Gladiators. So Keltos to do so. McMillan now back on the floor for Manchester. And she's a pacey player, capable of initiating offense. Keltos!
She isn't finished yet.
Up to 14 points for the game. 10 rebounds to go with that, so she's the first to get to the double-double mark. Abby Wolf 1 rebound away from joining her in that regards. Zoe Sharp to Handy. McGee.
5 on the shot clock.
Cursett elects to shoot. Zoe Sharp chases the rebound and body came crashing into her. Zoe Sharp is straight back up. Just a sore one though.
Yeah, that's just, you know, one of those ones where 2 players have come in for the offensive board, or offensive and defense, depending on what team, and they've come together. It stings.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt.
Kirsty Russell looks to be in a bit of pain. Zoe Sharp penalised with the foul there.
Pushing her on to 4, so might see her hitting the bench soon.
Yeah, she just raised her eyebrows a wee bit at that call. Even the way she took that foul call there, seemed very mature for a 16-year-old. Didn't seem in any way abashed by the fact she went chasing that rebound. The right move to do so. McDermott trying to find a way.
Really nice ducking and diving there by her.
Yeah, pivot foot, great work keeping that nice and still. Or stationary, might be a better words. McGee. Loose into McGarahan.
Nice job to get her off her feet there, Sam.
McMillan coming the other way. Keltos just seemed to lose concentration on the finish that time, Sam Keltos. It's now Robin Lewis for the Gladiators. Handy thought about the 3 on the trail, instead gets all the way towards the basket, and she's annoyed that she didn't make that an and one. That just shows the level of player you're
High
talking
standards. And that's that exact sort of 3x3 stuff. She got the ball at the top, she takes it left, she puts it behind her back, she goes to the hoop, she draws the foul. Excellent work. Just the lineup Gladiators has gone with there, that it was quite small and fast, which kind of matched the Manchester. So interesting to see that sort of blend of players on the floor.
Yeah, Zoe Sharp does take a seat as she anticipated Rona. Chantel Handy. Well, that's one way to make a free throw.
Almost had a little bit extra length on it there, but just timed it perfectly.
Let's see how the crosshairs settle this time for the veteran.
Yeah.
Swish.
Took it off. Took off a little bit of the power.
20-point leads for the hosts now in a game that they found pretty tricky in the first half. Clock is counting down on this third quarter. Keltos finds space, and I think she got that off in time.
Yeah, really nice step through. just kept the ball alive. But also, fair play to Gladiators not for fouling, because that's always the temptation, isn't it?
Absolutely. But they must be delighted with that, the Caledonia Gladiators winning that third quarter by 20 points to 9 in the end. And that's exactly what coach Miguel Angel Ortega Marco would have been looking for coming into the second half of basketball.
Yeah, I think both coaches, it's clear that they've talked about certain things at half-time and they've looked to work on them. Manchester doing a better job, plugging up the inside, but Gladiators now starting to knock down their outside shots, so they're going to have a think about what they're going to place their priorities on at the moment. Are they going to allow them to have the outside threes and potentially extend the lead further? Or are they going to continue to plug up inside? I think Gladiators just got to look at second chance points. I know, being a bit picky, they're up by 18, but that was something they were doing really well, was the rebounding, so they're probably going to want to get back to that, get back on the glass, especially when they have that height advantage, and especially when they've got your Handy, McGarrigan and Wolf on the floor. There's no reason those three shouldn't be out rebounding, because that just means someone's out hustling.
Yeah, no, that's very true. One thing that jumps out from the statistics to me is Manchester Met Mystics 8 assists, Caledonia Gladiators double that tally with 16, which goes to show how well the ball is moving for the hosts. Can I just point out, by the way, before we get ready for the final quarter, Erin Jones looks like she's kind of avoiding paparazzi a wee bit there to the left of it.
I think that's to do with the injury that she's absorbed during the week, so she's got to wear the glasses to keep the light out.
And here I thought that was a style choice, which is an interesting one in the middle of December.
No, it's definitely injury related and not so much a fashion.
Oh. Okay, sorry EJ, if you watch this one back. It goes to show the strength of the Gladiator squad, though, that they can absorb the absence of the likes of Tia Adams and Erin Jones, who are both massive contributors for this team.
Definitely. I think also, the players who maybe don't get as much court time that are today, they've been having to play against these players in practice. So that can only help you get better as a player. It might be pretty demoralising at the time, but then when you do step out on the floor, because they are such high calibre, when you come and play up against our players, you're like, okay, well, do you know what? I've had to guard Tia for the past 4 weeks, so I can come out here and I can do a job on somebody else.
Now, Sally Campbell has had a few minutes on court today. Number 6, drafted up from the youth ranks for this one.
I have to say, Sheriff, I actually just spotted an elf on the shelf. Caledonia Gladiators sign at the opposite side. There's definitely an elf that's got a note. Now, I can't read the note to my eyesight, it's not that good. But there we go. I wonder what it's saying.
You can see that just in the corner of your picture right now. Up it goes from Accra. And she will go to the line. Vanessa Accra has been an important player for Manchester in this game. They've needed her strength, her body heft to help with the sheer size that the Gladiators have to combat.
She's been a smart player for them as well. She knows her stuff, she knows her role, and she's been doing it well. And I mean, she's had a tough task guarding in there, but we've seen some really good defensive stops from her at the other end as well, and she's outsized.
That drum was getting beat with quite a lot of gusto there. McGarrigan to Handy. Kerry McGee. It's good. Kerry's obviously a shooter, but she does enforce the shot. She waits till it's the right decision to shoot.
Yeah.
I think that shows maturity. Ball pinging around.
You like to think that was a set play, wouldn't you?
It would have been
I'll tap it to you, you tap it to me, and I'll put it in the basket.
Yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters might have been proud of that one if it was deliberate, but in the end, can't curse it.
A bit like some of your WBBL game last night. Some of those plays were Globetrotter-esque.
Absolutely. Plenty of entertainment on show. If you're watching this by any chance, you're a basketball fan or someone getting into the sport north of the border, whether it's watching the WBBL action with the female Gladiators or the BBL action with the men, there is so much entertainment available on show with Scottish basketball right now. It does feel like such an emergent time for the sport, Rona. I'm really excited to be part of it.
No, definitely, and there's so much going on that if you'd told Rona, like when I was about 12, 13, just starting the sport, that this would be, the opportunities we would have, I would never believe you.
Chantel Handy got the shot up with the clock counting down. Accra trying to keep that one in.
Again, though, maybe just Miguel's had a quick chat with him about chasing down those rebounds, because that's then just forced them to be able to get the ball back, which gives them another opportunity.
I was mentioning about Sally Campbell, number 6. She has had maybe a couple of minutes on court so far, but maybe with the leads having gone up a little bit, Rona, it's an opportunity here to get some minutes for her down the stretch.
Definitely, but I also know Miguel always has a game plan, and he'll want to see the game plan out. And if that, you know, if Sally's within that game plan or whatever it is, he's not someone who's going to put someone on just because they're X amount of points up. Yep. He's going to be someone that's going to put her on because he knows, right, I know she can do a job here, that's what I want her to do there. Or somebody isn't doing their job elsewhere. It's not going to just be scrubs minutes, as I've heard them called before as well. Although I would love to see her back on court, so let's hope, you know, it's all part of the plan.
Yeah, big opportunity for her. That's a lovely shot from distance from Danielle McMillan.
She's been fast and effective for them, hasn't she, today?
Yeah, she's impressed me. Handy.
Leaving her wide open.
Cannot do that.
No. You actually saw the Vanessa, I think she turned around and was just like, oh. You know, because they both jumped to cover the drive.
And immediately, Isabel Robinson is readying herself to come on. McMillan tries to get round Robin Lewis. That's been a good duel today.
Yeah, so they're both fast and they both haven't given up at all.
Accra danced around, but goes down.
Lovely first step from her there as well, nice and powerful. Just an offensive call there. They've had a couple of them at the top of the D. I'm sure that's something that maybe coaches Donnie and Miguel want to tidy up on when they get back into practice. Yeah, just we've had a couple just at the top. It might be the style of the screen that they're setting, but just something, you know, that you're going to want to tighten up because offensive foul is a turnover.
Absolutely. Keltos up against Handy. It's a great pass, and it finds its way to McDermott. And there's been some lovely basketball from Manchester in dispatches here today.
Yeah,
what that can encourage them.
Definitely giving a good account of themselves.
Chantel Handy, though, is a Rolls Royce of a basketball player, and she's showing her entire repertoire.
Yeah, there's nothing about her gameplay that says she's winding down, as she keeps mentioning, you know, coming to the end of her career. I'm like, there's not one part of that.
Couldn't go from McMillan. She does manage to come up with an excellent steal there, though. The ball shifts over to Keltos. And shot up from Robinson. Didn't go.
Maybe some tired legs out there on the floor, you know, people when they're getting knocked over, just a little bit slower getting back up.
Robin Lewis, don't think she gets tired.
No, 8 on the shot clock.
McGee. Well, it's comfortable a spot for her to shoot from. Just had D in her face, but that's good work to force another possession from the Gladiators. Robin Lewis. Planks out for her. Now Keltos the other way. Abby Wolf on her feet. Ready to go. McDermott gets the finish. It's a continuation, so she'll get a chance for a bonus point at the line. So Sharp and Abby Wolf back in for Kerry McGee and Chantel Handy. And that was just exemplary veteran minutes, I would say, from Chantel Handy there.
Definitely comes in, does it. Gets her seat back on the ground, back on the bench. I mean, if she wants to sit on the ground and play like that, she can sit on the ground and play like that.
What's you're talking about sitting on the ground, playing basketball, it seems a bit untoward. What's the most diverse or weird or different place you've shot some hoops?
When I was travelling in Australia, I was playing on some pretty cool courts over like Sydney Harbour Bridge and places like that, but just like pick up basketball, but the stereotypical thing of I was the only girl on the floor, so they just left me open. I was like, magic. And I was like, as you like to point out at the top of the programme, I do like to batter my way about a basketball court, so I think a few of them realised who I was very quickly, but I'd say, yeah, that's been definitely one of the most picturesque places I've played, you know, when you're shooting hoops and that's what your view is. I was just like, I'm in Australia. And then I was like, where's the snakes?
See, Christmas is very different in Australia as well.
Yeah, it was 43 degrees. Like,
crazy.
I couldn't cope. I think I sat in the walk-in fridge in the pub I was working in the day because it was just too hot. The last thing you want to do is eat a pig and blanket. I felt like a pig in a blanket, I tell you that.
I'm saying nothing.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how I take a tan. I do not take a tan. I just
No. What I do is I get scalped by the sun, and then it makes my face go red, start peeling, and then that's it. That's the extent of the tan I
flaky,
get.
delicious.
Yeah, flaky character at the best, I think, Rona.
And that's why we do the chatting and we don't do the running around.
Sure. Even if you're not enjoying the patter, you must be enjoying the basketball. Gladiators very impressive in this second half with just over 5 minutes to go. Very much in the driving seats here as they seek to move to 5-1 on the season. And that's the closest the basketball has come to me.
That was almost our turn. We were almost in.
I would have deferred to you, obviously.
Oh no, I'd have panicked. Another one of those moving picks like we've been talking about, and I think that is something they're going to talk about.
Yeah, those moving screens have cost the Gladiators more than once tonight.
And it's a basic skill, you know, you've got to get your feet, you've got to plant them, you know, again, like we talked about with the sort of body checking coming off picks, you know they're looking for it, so you've just got to really set yourself again. And if you miss the player, that's on the player that's meant to be coming into you, that's not on you as the person setting the pick. I always thought setting a screen was one of the more simple things, but actually the more you look at them, the more technical they become. So yeah, that's maybe just something they need to work on. Girls you've got on the floor though, I mean, their experience, although we talk about Zoe being younger, she's more than capable of doing that. I know she's not one of the ones that's committed that, but there's no excuse for that balance on the floor to be making those mistakes. Or is it also Manchester playing them at good defence, so you know they're forcing them to then step across, or they're forcing them to stick a knee out or hook them round.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I think it's every point you make there is quite fair. Excited to see how it's going to be down the stretch for both teams here. The Manchester Mystics just to the right hand side as the Gladiators waits for us to get back underway. I get the sense that this has been a positive outing for the visitors, given where they're at as a ball club right now. There's been plenty of periods of this game where they've played good offence and good defence. It's just been that run at the start of the third quarter which has left them with the mountain to climb here. McMillan crowded out of it by Lewis and McGarrahan. A Caledonian sandwich.
Really nice defence there by Vanessa, you know, to be able to stay upright and keep the ball, but also great finish by Erin. It was just really nice play to watch two experienced players go at it.
Zoe Sharp managed to get herself out of a tricky situation there, and it's those kind of skills, the handle, the awareness, that have people so optimistic about the ceiling that Zoe Sharp has.
That'll be her fifth, unfortunately. Offensive foul. Or was that an out of bounds? Must have been an out of bounds. Oh no, it wasn't a foul.
No, it's a
offensive foul.
Offensive foul called. Zoe Sharp goes off after an excellent shift, I have to say, today.
Yeah, she plays hard, she plays tough, and she's going to pick up fouls, but as she develops, that'll be something. She'll still play hard, she'll still play tough, but then hopefully cut down.
That play there, where they tried to employ somewhat of a full court press, maybe a three-quarter court press on her, she just knew what to do. She played the pass, found the teammate, and got out of the tricky situation. And it's that situational awareness that I think makes her such a hot prospect.
Yeah. I mean, she'll be going up against people like Robin and Tia every week in training, so she'll be getting used to having to absorb that pressure with them. which is one of those things that then helps. With 8 on the shot clock, still looking to get something going.
Robin Lewis. One day, I'm going to say that, and one of those is going to just drop in beautifully.
Yeah, it's just not been her night from the three-point line, but I've seen her score. I know she can. She can be that offensive threat for them, but, you know, again, knows her role. She knows she doesn't need to go out and score loads of points, but she does need to look after the ball and help the team that way.
I see Robin Lewis's role as a metronome for the team. She's like the pace setter.
Yeah. She doesn't allow herself to get sped up either. You know, sometimes point guards, they can be rushed. But she knows what she can do and she knows what she needs to do, and she goes out and gets it done.
Got Kirsup off along with Abby Wolf, and Chantel Handy is back on, and there is Sally Campbell wearing number 6.
You know, she'll be heartened as well to see how we see Zoe do it week in, week out, but especially how Kerry's come undone today, so she'll be wanting to go out and do her bit as well.
3.5 minutes for her to show what she can do. And who better to surround herself with in those minutes than the likes of Chantel Handy, Erin McGarrahan,
nice
and Robin Lewis.
through.
And that's almost a headline moment for the youngster.
And that's what Sally does really well down in the post.
She's a really strong player.
Yeah, she is. Been on the receiving end. Fortunately, you know, Gladiators in foul trouble, so they're going to be putting Manchester to the line every time. And again, with 3 minutes 8 seconds, that's something you've got to look to manage, especially in tighter games.
Opportunity here for McMillan. Has 10 points already, make that 11 now.
For being picky, something both teams have been great at today. Free throws, a lot of splitting them going on.
Yep. 6 of 8 for Manchester, 14 of 20 for Caledonia. Lewis to Handy, loves that spot. And of course, when I say that, she doesn't make it.
Commentator's curse.
Ankara does well in the rebound now. It's McDermott. Keltos. Just maybe lacking a bit of experience, this Manchester team. But I wonder if they're taking a more holistic look at it and saying, can we get reps with younger players? Can we build a roster from the ground up, as it were?
Yep. And like we said, big transition for them, missing 3 really key players and players who've been franchise players for quite some time for them. And they're still pushing Gladiators in the start of that first half. They're still, they've not given up yet, down to a 14-point lead when it was up about 20.
Absolutely. Andy gets it to Campbell. Now Lewis. McGarrahan wants it. McGee's open. 1 point away from double figures, Kerry McGee. Handy. Unlucky that time.
I think she just felt with 5 on the shot clock, she had to get something going.
McMillan. I like your role as shot clock watcher, by the way. Especially they're fairly awkwardly positioned in the Lagoon Centre, so good to have someone else's eyes keeping an eye on that for me.
Robin just coming away with the foul there, which puts them back onto the line again.
Timeout is called with 1:48 left on the clock in this fourth quarter. Looks like the Caledonia Gladiators will be moving to 5-1 in the WBBL standings. Obviously, with the strength of the London Lions, Rona, everyone is going to be trying really hard to disrupt their quest to just sweep everything across the board. Do you think the Gladiators have that little magic something that they can maybe come away with some silverware this season?
No, I definitely think they do, and as much as teams will be getting to know them, they're still quite an unknown. The roster's been a little bit up and down with players in and out through injury and things, and one or two departures. So I think, you know, people are never going to know. Also, when teams have to come up here, as much as, you know, Gladiators, they frequently have to travel down south, so they maybe get into it quicker, but we see it the same in the BBL teams. When teams have to travel up to Scotland, they maybe don't travel so well, and they're not as used to that, so that can be played to your advantage as well. So I definitely think, and I would love to see them get some silverware in their, you know, their maiden season. And that's what I'm pushing for, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I do think they've got the capabilities.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you mentioned about the strength playing at home, but I think that victory in Nottingham, 37-point margin against the Wildcats, it just goes to show what this team can do, even on the roads.
Yep.
And I think it's the mix of youthful exuberance and talent and know-how and experience that you have from the likes of Handy and McGanachan and Lewis, that it just seems to be a nice blend, and they seem to be developing all the time, which is credit to Coach Miguel.
Yeah, and I think that's all that's all you can look for, isn't it, is to keep developing. There's another one of those offensive screens.
Yeah, Robin Lewis did her bit right, went round it and made the shot, but it won't count.
Manchester doing well, you know, they're chipping into this lead, down to 12.
Millen dumps that off to Accra. Now Keltos. And then McDermott crosses it up. Accra used her body well. Just boxed Campbell out that time.
Yeah, she knows that she's maybe got someone less experienced and younger on her, and she's gonna use her smarts in her body to get round and get position.
But it's things like that that just, when it comes to elite level, that's why these minutes are so vital for Sally Campbell. And just not nice to see Sam Keltos just pulling up.
Yeah, maybe taking a little hit at some point.
Seems to be in a considerable degree of pain there. Just over a minute left. Crowd rising to their feet. Robin Lewis hits the board with that one. Keltos fighting through the pain barrier here. And she shows her class by doing so and making the basket. And that lead has shrunk right down. Now it's just 8 points. So hope I've not given that a kiss of death too early by saying that the Gladiators were on the way to the victory.
You know, Manchester know this game isn't over. Caledonia have dried up recently, you know, they're just not getting the looks they want, making easy calls for the referees to give.
Kerry McGee's not finding it easy to inbound the ball here. Chantel Handy just says,
I'll do that.
Yeah, you're okay, Rook, I'll take over.
And that's what you need somebody like that on court, you know, and it's great to see.
If a moment crystallised, what the Gladiators are trying to do is that, use those experienced players, those gifted players to develop the youngsters, but also play winning basketball at the same time.
Smart decision there by Wolf to recycle it.
McGee unlucky. Looks like she might just miss out on hitting that double figures mark. Keltos, a tired one, I think, that time as she tossed it up. Shot clock is now off.
I think they're going to go for the last shot or just run it out. I think they look like they're going to go for a shot.
Robin Lewis just keeping possession of the ball. And she will let the clock run down. And the Caledonia Gladiators, they see it's a game of runs, and this game certainly lived up to that particular cliche. But the big run, the most pivotal one, came in the third quarter. At the start of that, the Caledonia Gladiators were dominant. The Manchester Met Mystics just couldn't live with them, and that proved key. Despite a late rally from the visitors, the Gladiators do move to 5-1 in the new season, and in a new era of basketball north of the border. It's exactly how the women's team would have been looking to begin.
No, definitely, and I think, you know, there's lots of positives to take into that. You've also got lots of court time for players who maybe don't get it, and I think we could say that for both teams. I mean, Manchester as well, they've came up, they haven't given up. It'd be so easy when you're 20 points down to just, you know, rotate through players for heads to go down, but that's absolutely not what they did, and they've got, you know, they've got a lot of positives to take from this too. But I think everyone's going to take a well-earned festive break now.
Yes, indeed. Anyone who has been watching this broadcast, then we do wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for joining myself and Rona here today. The next action here at the Lagoon Leisure Centre comes in the middle of January, January the 14th, when the Caledonia Gladiators face the Oakland Wolves. But before that, there's a clash with the Thames Valley Cavaliers in the WBBL trophy in the Essex Sports Arena. That one on January the 7th. But we're done. That's us heading into Christmas. Rona, what are you looking forward to most about the festivities this year?
What am I looking forward to? Pigs and blankets.
Yeah.
It's got to be, I know, apologies to any vegan listeners out there, but yeah, it's my absolute favourite. And a little bit of homemade sweet potato and chilli soup.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I know.
We do lentil in our house.
I do like a lentil, but I tend to have that during the week, so everything has to be a little bit different when you gets to Christmas. So yeah, that's what my highlights are going to be, because that's the age I'm at now.
Absolutely, it's been a very, very festive feel to proceedings here today. Still trying to see what that elf's doing. The gentleman there, just, is he going to rescue the elf, or is he dealing with the banner?
I don't know, I think he's going home.
Oh, there's the elf. Interesting. Well, we're going to see what that elf's going to do, but I'm just going to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas once again. Thank you very much for joining us as the Caledonia Gladiators finish victorious today against the Manchester Met Mystics by 65 points to 57. Thank you very much, and a very Merry Christmas.